Yeah, welcome to the Monday night Zoom meeting for Stunt Hangar. Place for people to hang out and do whatever. Let's see, I got to get this together here. My videos. Live. And we're on. Why didn't that stay on? On. Next. None of the above. Submit. Stupid thing. All right, remember, tonight is the last night for the 50% KNS discount. So you go on there and you're going to get a 40% discount. 40, but if you use the code STUNT10, you get 10% more. So 50%. And that's at ksmetals.com. I think that's a super deal for the stink of de Mayo. So I got the solder job done. I put this shit away. As soon as people come in, I'm going to start cleaning the mess up. I had Steve over today, helping him with his airplane. I think it's the longest he's ever spent over here. Yeah, somebody said something. Tony Dallas. Hey, Tony. Thank you. Did you lose your membership, Tony? I thought you were a paid subscriber. I mean, I realize times are tough. It ain't like I'm not trying, that's for sure. Okay, so we got anybody come in yet? Let's see here. Hit that. Nope, nobody come in yet. I believe that the link is posted on At the Bench at stunthangar.com. Let's see here. Check it again. Let's see here. It's posted stunthangar.com. At the Bench section, just pick the code and come on in. Gives you the ID meeting and all that other stuff. And Tony says, got to go here to see that. Let's see. I didn't know that. Let me fix it. That'd be great. And I wish I could see across the room that little tiny, itsy bitsy little letters on the screen. Hey, everybody, hit the join button. Please become a paid subscriber. It helps me keep me going. You know, this content, it costs a lot to bring it. And I don't have a lot, but I like bringing the content to you. Well, those people who've been around for my Perky project know that I've been working on this stupid thing over and over and over again, trying to get this wing to come out. Well, for some reason, there we go, Tony. Welcome, Tony. I can't present it because I'm not on that software tonight. I'm on the Zoom software. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm trying to check that now. I can see what happened, see if you're rejoined. See, we're on this. And we want to go to earn. There we are. Memberships. 7. Tony Dallas, supporter, rejoined. Yeah, you rejoined. Somehow you fell off. Appreciate it. Price of a beer. Pretty soon we'll have somebody come in, I'm sure. Anyway, one failure after the next. The schedule is good here. Somebody came in.
What's wrong with it? Other than it looks like it warped.
It didn't warp.
It
Well,
didn't?
yeah, it did. I had shit setting on it. It'll be all right when I heat it up. I'm not going to use it anyway.
What's wrong with it?
It's got voids in the leading edge.
Oh, shoot.
But finally got a hold of Dan Winship. He called me this morning and let me know the error of my ways.
Uh-huh.
Take a guess
So
what
you know what?
take a guess what the error is.
Too much epoxy.
No.
Okay. Not enough vacuum.
Not really. We're gonna fix it here tonight. I'm using the wrong damn hardener.
Oh, yeah, that could do it.
Not supposed to be brown like that. I'm using the hardener for the shit for the casting resin.
Oh. Oh, yeah, okay.
It worked. And it's strong, but it's the wrong shit. So we're gonna try to do one good one. Another thing I'm gonna do, I haven't done it yet, is I'm gonna order some Mold Max. Oh, I can't remember what the hell she called it. Mold Max 30, and I'm gonna pour a mold so that I can make a thing to press down on this when it's in the vacuum bag to try to keep it from getting those voids in it.
Yeah. I thought that's what the vacuum bag did. I don't know.
Well, it does, but it doesn't do it good enough.
Yeah. I would talk to Trayan before I spent a whole lot of money building a
I'll be
No
fine.
mold.
I got Dan. It's all under control.
Well, if you got Dan, you got it covered. That's right. Okay. Yeah. Because if there's anybody knows how to mold carbon, it's Dan.
Yep. Waste.
Yeah. It's not a waste if you learned anything from it.
Yeah, I learned something. All right. We're gonna do another one though. So we got Steve in here. He was over here all day, which is the longest he's ever spent over here.
Yeah.
I bet you had him with a piece of sandpaper in his hand the whole time too, didn't you?
Yeah, he's not real. No.
No, I'm past the sandpaper stage.
Oh, you wait a minute. You don't get past Sparky doesn't get past the sandpaper. Hell, he still takes the plane down and sands on it.
Uh, messing with the electronics.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why they can't make a spinner that works. Got to have this adapter, and that adapter doesn't work with the spinner and the bolt.
Oh, it's crazy.
I've never seen.
The days of it being easy are over. And then when they try to adapt to electronic, it's just more of the same. It's worse now. Now they're trying, when you really get screwed is when they try to build the adapter into the spinner to go to the prop. Then you got to have the right collet, whether it's a 4, 5, or 6 millimeter. Oh, and then is the offset right? And forget it.
Somebody needs to come up with a spinner kit just like the Randy Smith spinner. Put it on there, one bolt, one screw, and that's it. You're done. But this other shit, it's not the right length, so we got to make a spacer. And oh crap, you got to drill this out and fiddle fart around with a bolt. It's a joke.
Yeah.
Nothing fits because it's all metric. Crap.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about selling.
Did you stop by Shavers and buy some bolts, Steve?
No, but I know what size it is now.
You do. What size is it?
It's a 3 millimeter.
Yeah.
3 millimeter. Yeah. That's what most of them are. That's what goes in the vacuum motor, and that's what goes in the. Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
And then I got that assortment coming from Micro Fasteners.
You'll like that. I bought one of those at Jonah last year, and that's the handiest darn thing.
Remember, you need some Vaseline for the hinges.
Yeah.
All right, I'll bite. What do you use the Vaseline for? Keep
You
the
dip-
glue out of it?
You dip the barrels in before you epoxy them in, and then the glue doesn't run inside the barrels.
How do you get the Vaseline to go in the barrel?
Heat it up with a heat gun until it's liquid, and then just pull the hinge back and dunk it in.
Dump it in. Yeah, dunk it. I knew that one. I don't know much.
Well, I kind of knew it too. It's the way I do it, except I've been doing it with instead of using Vaseline, I use lip balm, but it's the same thing.
Same stuff. Yeah.
But it's one of those things, if we don't mention it, other people might not know it, and they're not going to say. There's too dang many people that won't ask the question because they think it makes them sound stupid.
Mm.
If you don't know, ask the darn question.
Well, I got all the stupid questions out of my system when I was a kid. Hey, mister, what are you doing there? How'd you do that? How come you're doing that way?
Yeah.
How long's a piece of string, mister? How come you're doing that?
Mm. Good Lord, Sparky, I'm telling you, you're not the only one, buddy.
Yeah, but nobody wanted to tell you nothing then.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know
I heard
it.
that
Damn,
too.
You remember when the Detroiter wing, when the Aries was winning all the contests with I shouldn't say the Aries was winning anyway. Bill Werwich was winning all the contests with the Aries, and what he didn't win, Bob McDonald or Bob's dad was winning, Rob McDonald, and just all we heard about was the Detroiter wing, but that's as far as you heard. You didn't hear what the Detroiter wing was. And then I went to a contest and a guy crashed one, and we all run over to take a look at it. He come over and started stomping the crap out of it.
Ah,
So we wouldn't see how it was done, but it was too late. I'd already seen it. I said, "Oh, he's got an I-beam." Well, I didn't know to call it an I-beam wing, but I didn't know that was the proper name. But it looked to me like I'd been watching him build a building and ask him what that girder's called. And it's an I-beam. So I said, "It's got an I-beam spar in it, and then just little slivers of ribs." And I told some people about it, and they all said, "No, that'd make a stress riser, and it'd snap right there." Well, 30 years later, I find out it does, and I see Sparky online, and he's putting a little piece on every one of those at that point. And then other people put a whole spar in there at that point back here at the back. I like Sparky's idea, a little piece, and then run that Kevlar line back and forth. No way, it's quite strong. It adds quite a bit of strength because my USA one was, I mean, it was twisty till I did that to it. I did it to it just to see, will it work? Yeah, it works. It adds quite a bit of strength. He's a dirty old man, but he's a smart, dirty old man.
Yeah. It's been,
Not
I
even-
just tried everything once or twice.
Yeah. I liked it. I tried it a third time. Well, I tell you what, you remember the days when we used to take dope and put 3 drops of castor oil per pint in it to make it softer so it wouldn't crack?
It's 1 drop per ounce, and it's a plasticizer. Oh yeah, I remember well.
Yeah.
yeah, I
couldn't
heard
remember what it
that.
was.
Never tried it.
No, we used to do it all the time. I put 3 drops, and it was too much. But 1 drop per ounce is right. But we had a lot of fun with that, learning how to do all that stuff. But back then there was no forum like this. It was just locals, and around here there weren't any real good stunt pilots. There were some decent ones, but we thought they were good. But then one day there's a magic thing happened. We had this contest at the Coliseum, the 4A contest, and there was people like Les McDonald and not Ernie Schaefer. I forgot his name. Gene Schaefer. Never did see Bob Hunt, but I did see Gene Schaefer one time, I think. And just several others showed up and flew, and we'd ask them questions. And I go over and can we touch your airplane? Well, and they hesitantly say yes. You go over and pull the controls, and where my plane would, theirs would just. I said, "Dang, how do you not have more control than that? You don't need more control than that." And I noticed you pulling a full pull here, and it's not moving much back here. So I learned, even in my little 15-year-old mind, 16-year-old mind, I guess, I realized, that means that they're slowing their controls down. We're speeding ours up. They're slowing theirs down. So I built a Ringmaster with slow controls, and it worked. By George, it worked. But that's the way we learn stuff. And I saw that airplane hit the ground and went over and looked at the pieces. It busted the outboard wing off. Well, he destroyed the whole outboard wing. Just went over and stomped the crap out of the outboard wing and then held it up by the wing up so you couldn't see up in it. So you couldn't, they didn't want you to know anything. They didn't want you to pick up a thing. And then finally, I can't remember when they finally started telling us about the I-beam wings, but seems like the first one that I remember, first set of plans I ever remember to an I-beam wing, Tom Looper gave me a set of plans to the Cobra, and it's got an I-beam wing. I looked at that thing and I thought, hey, that ought to work, and built one of those things. And mine didn't last long because I didn't have anything stupid happen to that one. I just flat crashed it. But It was a good way, a good airplane. Sure does build light when you don't use much wood. Roy, what do you got behind you there? Looks like a Ringmaster 576.
It is
Okay.
about ready to cover it. Got a
Yeah,
final
I've got one
sanding on
down. I've got one downstairs myself. I got to get it covered.
it. Yes. Little project.
Oh yeah. Mine's been sitting there from same situation, same place for a year now. Just too dang lazy to finish it. I'm gonna try to get it. It's one of the next ones I'm gonna finish. I started slapping dope on the fuselage to cover the fuselage. The tail's covered, but I haven't done the fuselage of the wing yet. What are you gonna cover yours in?
I've got a silk stain on the tail feathers. Got 3 coats on it already, and then debating. I get too many hanger rashes with silk span.
Yeah,
got
I'll use
silk
polyspan.
on it.
Try some polyspan, you'll like it. Only thing you gotta watch for is when you look at the roll, it almost always comes with a fuzzy side to the inside. Just make sure. And then always take it off the same way. Lay it down on the table. When you cut that off, get a piece of tape and put on the top side, just a piece of masking tape. And always leave it until you get it doped on the wing, till you put it on the wing. Always leave a piece of masking tape on the shiny side or the upside of that wing so you don't have to look for it, because otherwise, be darned, that thing will get upside down and you'll put it on upside down, and then you got the fuzzies to deal with.
Yeah.
And when you go to heat it, don't use a regular heat gun, use your hair dryer. Because a regular heat gun, either you hold it way back here or you use a hair dryer and keep it moving. Don't just on one spot, because you'll burn a hole in it quick. If you do, you just fix it with lightweight tissue.
You know, there's a couple good videos on that on this channel.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. You've used it
On
once or
polyspan,
twice.
yeah.
And it's the most, I think, the most viewed polyspan video out there.
Wouldn't doubt it. You're pretty decent with it.
Yeah.
Ornery old man.
I use a monocoat gun, not a hair dryer.
You do use how do you do it? Just keep it moving?
Yeah, I got a foot pedal. I just step on the foot and then let off of it.
Oh, I don't have all that high tech stuff. I have to keep mine moving, so I
got a switch.
Well, yeah, I got a switch, but I just keep it moving, and if I'm gonna use a monocoque gun, I learned to do it with a hair dryer, because the first time I did it with a hair dryer. But after that, I do use a monocoque gun, but I make sure it's wide open. And I don't mean wide stop down, I mean wide open, and I keep it moving. And when I quit moving, I take it away from it and turn it off. It's that stuff don't like a lot of heat. You'll burn a hole in it quick if you're not careful. But if you put it on, especially watch his video for how to put it on, you won't have any problem with it. He takes all the guesswork out of it. Like I say, he's a dirty old man, but he's our dirty old man. He's pretty good at it,
Yeah.
even though he's younger than me.
Is that still available though?
What?
Yeah.
Polyspan, I thought it was unobtainium.
No, silk span.
I
It's
just-
just hard to find.
I just bought 2 rolls of polyspan from something flies models. Oh gee,
Mike Flies.
that sounds right. I just bought 2 rolls from him. I got one and Tommy got one. Or Tommy, or was it Tommy or somebody? I can't remember.
Mike Goes Flying or something like that.
Something like that. You'll find him if you just look up Mike's RC or Mike Goes Flying. You'll find it.
Okay.
The internet will correct for you. It thinks we're all dummies, but it will correct for us.
He used to sell glow plugs, but no more.
Yeah.
Got
No
all
more.
kinds of motors. He does have glow
Yeah.
plugs.
Yeah, how much are they? $25 a piece?
SHR4 glow plug, 0.55 bin 31, whatever that means, $11.99.
Yeah. For a 25-cent plug, no thanks.
Got a bunch of engines.
Now
Mike
you
goes,
see why.
Mike goes flying, right?
Yeah, MikeGoesFlying.com.
Yeah. Now
I
you
bought
know why I
AS,
fly electric.
I bought HSP glow plugs, and these were like $5 a piece.
Where'd you get them?
eBay.
Okay.
Then I bought I buy them at a cart of 10. I got 10 of the SIG plugs, $5 a piece.
Yeah, my SIG plugs didn't work.
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical of those, but I got a few glow doubles left, and a couple of thunderbolts. But these
Yeah, I saved my Thunderbolts. I saved my
HSP,
Thunderbolts. Yeah, that's pretty good.
this is
Don't drop them, Sparky. Good gracious.
yeah, half the card.
We went out the other day and one of the guys was having all kinds of running problems. That thing was sputtering and spitting, and I swanny it backfired twice. You think a little Brodak 40 can't backfire, but I swanny that thing backfired. Anyway, just could not get it to run, He changed the glow plug in it, and the son of a gun runs like a clock. I said, boy, I just wouldn't have believed a glow plug would make that much difference. But it did. He looked at me and he says, now, if you knew to do that, why are you not still running one? I said, because I don't want to have to think about all that. I'm running an electric. Going electric.
You don't like the smoke, hold your breath.
Yeah. I still have fuel motors in my old timers, and I have 3 or 4 new ones coming online this year. Got to get them painted. Painting on one now, 2 of them now, excuse me. And I got 2 more to do, and then one I'm gonna fix my old boxcar Chief and fly it again. That's still of all the old timers I've had, that boxcar Chief is still one of my favorites. Stunt Wagon 60 and the boxcar Chief, my 2 favorites. Of course, I haven't flown the Humongous yet. When I flew Tommy's Humongous, I thought that was the best flying old timer I'd ever had my hands on. So we'll see.
How big is it? Humongous?
Yeah, it's humongous, man.
All right,
Hey,
I'm on Mike Goes Flying site, and I'm not finding Polyspan on here.
No, that's where we got it.
I searched
The
for
internet's a
Polyspan.
wonderful thing. All you got to do is on the top line where the address goes, type in Polyspan, and it'll take you to 100 people that sell it.
Yeah.
Hey, Roy Edwoski, I got your message and that.
Yeah, I never called you. I was
Yeah.
wide open all weekend.
Yeah, well, I was busy too. So anyway, that's just the best way and stuff.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
You find it, Steve?
Yeah, not at Mike Goes Flying.
How many people got it? How many search results is there?
BMJR Models has it, and
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got
BMJR
mine
has
from
it.
Volare Free Flight, and they had the big enough size that I
Yeah.
needed. And they
Valley
had, I think, 2
Irrigation
different
has
weights.
it. 2 different weights of polyspan?
Could have swore, and that I'd have to
Wow.
look it up again.
That's cool. I did not know that.
Yeah. Don't quote me on it, but I went to Volare and looked it up, and I know they had some smaller sizes, and then they had some stuff that was bigger.
Hey, we got a super chat from
All
Tom
right.
Ellis. Thank you very much for the super chat, Tony. Sorry I didn't see it, but I don't have the chat open. Let me type this in. I'll tell you where.
Very nice.
POLYSPAN. Polyspan covering.
$22 a roll, and it's in stock at BMJR Models.
Yeah, it doesn't say what size or weight it is though.
It don't matter, it's in a roll, you'll get it, no problem. Fly to build, covering materials and supplies, Stunt Hangar, this, we don't have. RC Groups, FAI Model Supply has polyspan.
Yeah, I got a couple rolls. I don't think I need any right now, but
Right there, my video is covering with polyspan right up on the front there on
yeah.
YouTube. And that's not the really good one. The good one is let me see, which model am I covering there? No, that is the good one there.
What did you cover? The one I saw was a like the Vortex, but it was a different name.
No, shoestring, my scale airplane.
Oh yeah, you did do. I remember that one. Yeah.
Did the wing in silk span or polyspan and the fuselage in coverall.
Oh Lord, I'll never use that stuff again. Too heavy.
Yeah, but if you ever look at the compound curves of the shoestring, I needed a fabric. I wanted to do it with silk span, but there ain't no way you're going to cover that with silk span in one piece. I needed something that I could bias, you know.
Yeah.
So it was either going to be silk span or that coverall shit.
Mm.
I covered a plane with coverall back when I looked at the plans, and it said to paint the glue on before to the wood surfaces before you put it down. Well, I didn't. It was my first scratch built airplane, and I didn't realize that it just meant around the edges. So I painted the whole thing. Ended up with I took a 30-ounce airframe and made a 60-ounce airplane out of it. And it was a small 35 size airplane, Fox 35 size airplane. I flew it with a 40, but 40 and 15% nitro.
Mm.
It flew. I mean, it flew in a contest. Flew it at the Virginia Beach contest. I would hate to fly it somewhere where the air was thin, though. Yeah, I take it somewhere where at the beach or something, and the air is thick. I believe I got enough egg patterns. Now I gotta get some woolly boogers.
Well, I must have made a mistake because I can't find polyspan on that site I was telling you. I don't know where I got it.
They're probably just out of it now. That's nothing new.
Yeah, it could be.
But that BMJR, I know they have it. That's a good guy, and it's
Oh yeah.
he's here in Carolina, and his sister is the other part of the business. She's got the laser cutter down in Florida, and they work back and forth. I don't know how in the world they make it work, but they do. I bought one of their kits, and it's a good looking kit. There's one thing I'm going to change about it. I don't agree with the way the tail goes together, but only because I've seen one that was built by the plans and it failed. The tail failed on it. So I'm going to redo that a little bit, but it could be the guy that built it. I mean, I'm not knocking it because he's a real good builder. He's a real good flyer, but I mean, things happen. But that is the one thing about it I didn't agree with, was the tail was built too light. What got me though, Sparky? Are you familiar with the laser? The Bud Light laser, the Gid Atkinson's airplane?
Yeah.
You believe how thin the tail is on that thing? 1/8 of an inch?
Not good.
I'm planning to build one, but mine, I'm gonna build that tail a little bit thicker than that. Mine's gonna have a quarter. I've only had one with a decent sized engine on it that had an 1/8 inch tail, but guess what? It failed. It shattered in flight and failed, and I'm not going to do it again.
I think I would have at least 3/8. It's up to you.
Well, I'm with those guide wires. I'm going to use a quarter, or plan to. I may go 3/8. That's actually what I drew up. But I said I think I can get away. If he got away with an 1/8, I believe I can get away with a quarter. But I'm going to have a quarter in it that's got some carbon in it. I'm just not. I've had a plane fail in the air. The fuselage failed because I used balsa where it should have been it should have had some hardwood in it, and I did it by the plans, and I popped the wing over and the thing just folded in half right there. Everybody was watching said, I can't believe that. I didn't believe that. But anyway, and then I've had one fail because the spars were too light in the wing, pulled out of a wing over and it let go. So I'm not into this. I mean, I want to build it as light as I can build it. But there comes a point when my spiny sense is tingling. I just say that just is not heavy enough. It's not strong enough. Go back in there with some carbon fiber. I mean, don't put a whole bunch of hardwood, but put some carbon fiber or something in it until you can believe that that thing is going to hold up. You give it a 10G pullout and you've got a 3G tail and you've got a mess all over the asphalt.
I mentioned, I know you guys heard it when you come on. Today is the day, the last day, for the 50% off sale at K&S Metals. If you need any metals, piano wire, brass tubing, whatever, go there. They got a 40% sale today. But if you use the code STUNT10, you get 10% more. So that's 50% off. It costs $10. You get it for $5. How can you beat that? Let me put up the little graphic.
Does anybody know where to get golden wire now? The lead outs. I haven't been able to find any. Surely everybody's not using solid lead outs nowadays. Last time I did that, I went to the Nats. I had one that I just was sure was stretching, so I quit flying the airplane. Sure enough, I dug into it and changed it. It was stretching. You can see where the metal was having a problem. Bob Hunt lost an airplane. Wendy Ertnowski lost an airplane, and 2 other guys that I didn't know lost airplanes, and they were all lost due to lead outs breaking that year.
Like in those lead out kits from, what is it? I don't know.
It's
if
just K&S metal or some, piano wire, and it just broke. There was a
piano
bad
wire.
batch.
Okay.
It was a bad batch of piano wire, and I bought a bunch of piano wire from Wendy, and Wendy, I don't know where Bob Hunt got his, but anyhow, Bob had one break. In fact, he had 2 break because both his Saturns went in that year due to line breaks. But I lost one. Well, I didn't lose an airplane, but I had one doing stupid stuff, and I cut it out and looked at it, and you could take a mic and go down it and see where that metal was stretching. It was getting ready to pop, and I said, "Now that's really somebody didn't anneal this stuff right at all. It just was wrong." But anyway, several of us ended up getting some bad metal. And like I say, 4 airplanes. And when you talk about Bob Hunt and Wendy Ertnowski, those are top level airplanes. And Wendy's was I don't remember what it was, but it was a big son of a gun. Seemed like it was a twin. I can't remember for sure. Oh, that's cool.
That's today, ksmetals.com. And make sure you use that, let me see, make this bigger. Oh, too big. Make sure you use the discount code STUNT10 for 50% off. So that's 10% more.
Okay.
And you got to remember that we got you 10% off at Wix Aircraft as well.
Yeah, that's the place to get your dope.
Yeah, same discount code. That's your place if you're a real pilot to get you anything. You know, 10% ain't much, but it pays the taxes.
Yeah. Every little bit helps, especially nowadays. Good grief.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got my good news today. My taxes went up on the house. The value didn't, but the taxes did. Fuck. Everybody got their damn handout.
Well, it could be worse, Sparky. They could have reevaluated it and raised your taxes. That's what they did to a lot of people.
They did raise my taxes.
But I mean, they could have raised the value on it and
They
then
did.
raised the tax rate.
They did. They raised the value on the house
Oh, okay.
and raised the tax rate.
Oh boy. Double whammy.
Really pisses me off. You never own anything. Somebody's always got their damn handout.
Yeah. This is true.
The only saving grace I have in life is when I made good money, I made double payments and paid this house off in 7 years.
Wow. Damn, you did make good money.
This ain't much of a house.
Oh, I don't know about that. Oh. Well, I tell you what. I don't know how the kids are going to do it today. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, when I designed this house in college, I designed it and just put it back in the roll. I designed it in high school actually, and then we needed a project to do in college in drafting, so I pulled plans back out, redid it, and we drafted and put in the wiring and the plumbing and all the crap. You know, second set of plans was really detailed, and then roll back up. And I forgot about it. Vicky found it, and she said, "Well, let's take this and put it over here and do this here. Same house, just reversed." And we built it. Well, it was expensive, but when we built this house, we figured this is where we're going to be from now on till they put us in a little wooden box. The kids today, the prices that they're offering us for this place, the kids today, there's no way in blazes they can come out of college and get a job where they're going to be able to afford a place like this. And this is now considered a starter home. That's what I can't figure out. I mean, it's crazy.
1955, my dad bought a house in West Covina, California, $16,000, $16.95.
Yeah. Yeah.
He sold it to me before I went in the Navy, and I was a kid. I screwed around. Anyway, I let it go. That house today is $2.5 million.
Yeah.
Same house, same neighborhood, $2.5 million. And they took
Wow.
the pool out of the backyard because I Google Earthed it.
Well, I tell you what, there's a whole lot of $1 million houses. It's amazing to me. We were trying to build a house. We wanted to build a house on High Rock Lake when we first got married, just after we first got married, and got 2 lots. Couldn't afford to build a house. Got 2 lots. Guy decided he wanted to buy our lots. Well, it was 20 years later, and we got enough out of it that helped. It really helped buying this lot. And this is a lot bigger lot than those 2 put together were. But anyway, those 2 lots now have a house sitting on them that I looked it up a few weeks ago. That it's got a for sale sign out in front of it, and it's $2.5 million because it's on the lake. I mean, it's insane.
I can
There's
remember
no
as a
way in the
kid
world.
playing in the farmer's pasture. This is West Covina, so it's Los Angeles, California. The farmer had a strawberry field out there. They called it the Willowwood Track. And his farmhouse was right across the street from 7-Eleven. And he had a lot that he wouldn't sell. He wouldn't sell. I just Google Earthed that too, and it's gone. I mean, he long passed away. I guess the kids probably sold it off for $1 gazillion. But there was orange groves and strawberry patch as far as the eye could see when we grew it, when I grew up in there, in West Covina. And now it's tract homes. There is not a piece of dirt that isn't developed. Unreal.
Well, we used to go out there to a racetrack. long since forgotten the name of it, but it used to be a beautiful road race track out there. And now that whole area is homes, just like you say.
Well, they had
ridiculous.
Irwindale drag strip. We used to hear them. That's probably
Yeah, used to go to that too. This was a road race track, a big one.
Pomona.
It was
They had Laguna Seca out there.
Pomona.
At Pomona Fair at the Pomona Fairgrounds. That's gone.
Yeah, that's gone, and Laguna Seca's gone too, for that matter.
They had Ontario Motor Speedway, which was same size as Indianapolis. That's gone.
Yeah.
Ascot Park and Gardena, that was right in the subdivision. That would be, Steve, that would be like having a half-mile dirt track right across the street from my house.
Well, that could be fun, but it could be it could be an issue too.
Well, we got
Yeah, a
it
lot
on
of
the
dust.
street here, but
Man, I'm telling you.
JC Agenian flew in all that dirt from Africa.
Oh Lord.
It was the
Dirt from Africa?
yes, it was the fastest half mile in the world. Dirt track.
Good grief. JC Agajanian was a first class nut, but he did have some good ideas.
Well,
He was a millionaire.
clay.
He was a man with a lot of money and loved to play with it.
The track was clay, and it was fast.
Yeah. JC used to have among his drivers Danny on the gas on Gaius. So you know he was serious.
The year that Dick Atkins and Don Branson were killed, I was standing 10 feet away from them. That was 1966. The guy must have had a heart attack. He went straight into the corner because when you turn a sprint car sideways, it throws the dirt up. You can't see the turn. They had black and white lines on it. You couldn't see the turn. He went straight into it, and Don Branson followed him. And back then they didn't have bladders; they just had metal tanks. And
oh man,
alcohol fuel burns blue, and both them guys burn up. They could not get him out of the car.
Yeah.
I remember that like it was yesterday.
We had a time here racing go-karts. Everybody wanted to run alcohol. Well, let's put some gasoline in, 10% gasoline. And I remember going to the meeting and suggesting, let's put 10% gasoline in it. Why in hell would you want to mess up the alcohol putting gas in it? Because you can see an alcohol gas fire. You cannot see an alcohol fire. I saw a guy burn up in Indianapolis because the guy standing there with a fire extinguisher. He jumps out of his car and he's telling him, shoot me. And he didn't shoot him and the guy just fell over. They couldn't see the fire. So let's put some gasoline in it. You can see the fire and it's halfway safe. But otherwise, alcohol is just dangerous stuff. You burn twice as much of it as you do gasoline to get the same power. However, it burns without a blue, there's no color to it. It just burns. You feel the heat, but you don't see any color. It's scary stuff. Having run an alcohol go-kart, it's scary stuff. I ran a go-kart until I was too darn tall to get in the thing. And then they put me in a micro midget, and then they tried to put me in a midget, and I said, I'm done. I'm not doing that. My head stuck out.
You and a midget.
My head stuck out that much above the roll bar in that micro midget. And I just said, that's enough.
Well, back in those days, they didn't have a cage. You just had a roll bar over the top of the.
One bar, that was it. Yeah.
No good. That was before Outlaws came out and they put wings on top.
Yeah. That wing saved a lot of people because it absorbs a lot of wham.
Sparky.
Yeah.
I have to apologize to you. It was Norm Whittle that I got the idea from for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. It was, yeah. He didn't teach me how to do it. I learned how to do it. That's why it's been 20 some odd years since I wrote that. So I'm surprised that I didn't remember it though.
That's
what are you talking about?
Oh,
over Stokes fan?
Yeah. That's
what?
You put the silk span on first.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Monocoat over it.
Yep.
it's
Well, I'm
really,
getting ready to do that. So we'll
it's
see how
really
it
neat to
works.
do different patterns and make you, because you can, you're sticking it right onto the silk span, so you don't have to.
If I understand this right, you're going to have a wing that is silk spanned.
Yeah,
You're going to be able to just take, if you want to put
if you want to put a sunburst on it, you
just put the white down, then you can put the red on top of it, right on the silk span, and seal it down on the monocoat.
right.
It
You
should stick.
figure out for an 1/8 to a 1/4 inch overlap, so that, and then you get that down really good, you
Yeah.
know, so that it doesn't
So,
lift.
so could you use polyspan, John?
You can do it. It's a little heavier. It might come out a little heavier. I don't know. I've never tried it, but I don't see why you
Okay.
couldn't.
Why would you
Okay.
do
I'm gonna-
that, Ed? Just out of curiosity, are you worried about structural integrity? Because the monocoat over the silk span is just as strong as the poly
Yeah.
span.
I had polyspan, that's why.
Oh,
I
Well,
just,
I don't
It
have
may
any-
not-
I'm gonna
it
try
may
it.
not work because polyspan shrinks. Silk span
Right.
doesn't with heat. So when you're
Right.
trying,
Yeah.
when you're monocoating, taking the monocoat iron and putting it down, everything's trying to shrink against each other, and it
Right.
makes
Yeah.
it work. I don't know, but it's just a theory.
Mm.
And
I
use
never did that.
use nitrate or beauty rate.
Doesn't matter.
You'd have to put it on with nitrate.
No,
Doesn't matter. You can put it on with either one. I don't have any silk span left, so I'm going to be using Dr. paper.
hey Ed, you are a real aircraft mechanic. What is nitrate dope for? Exactly.
I couldn't answer that other than it was what we use because of the adhesive properties when we
Exactly.
covered something.
It covered what? What were you
When
covering?
we covered a flight control, you had to use nitrate
What
to
was that
stick
flight?
it.
What was that flight control made of?
Wood.
And the one I did,
Metal.
aluminum. The one I did was aluminum.
Thank you. Nitrate is for attaching covering to metal structures. It's glue.
Metal.
That's right.
Hmm.
Oh. I always thought it was wood. That's what we used nitrate when we covered the
Absolutely
J3,
not.
and I
You're
assure
using
you,
it. You might have used it for that, but that's not what it's for.
The thing is if you're doing monocoat over silk span, you get the silk span attached and shrunk down, and all that like it should be, and then you put on some very well thinned dope. It really doesn't matter in my opinion which, though I would go with probably think of beauty rate because of possible anything might slip underneath it if you don't get a seam down really tight. That's why it's so important to get the seams good and tight.
Let me pull
Yeah.
this up.
But you gotta be thin like 50%. You put the first coat on, and then you use some like 400 and just take the fuzzies that pop up. You put another thin coat on, another sanding with like 400 to make sure the fuzzies are gone, and then you really tack it and clean it off. Because you know how it is with monocoat. You can have a grain of dust that is pollen sized in a micrometer size. You put that you put that monocoat over it, and it looked like you got a boulder underneath there.
Yeah,
Ah,
that's the
And the
truth.
thing is
You got a vacuum and everything else.
oh yeah, the thing is though is when you lay it on, you've already shrunk the paper, the silk span.
Yeah.
So now when you lay it on, you could start off with a heat gun and just kind of you tack it, stretch it, tack it around the edges, net, get on, and you use a heat gun and you kind of bring it in. And if it's working well for you, you can get a glove, one of those soft gloves, monocoat gloves, whatever, and you can just go right behind it and rub on it, and it'll stick it down. Or you can do like I used to do the first time I did it. I used an iron, and I had one of those cloth socks on the iron,
Yep.
so it didn't
Yeah.
scratch it. And I'd get it tight, but then I'd start in the center of the wing, not on top of the rib, but in the center between the rib, and I'd start working from there and work out, and sticking it down.
I guess there's a million answers for everything. I was taught by the Navy how to be a painter, and that was my job as an AMS, aviation structural mechanic. I worked corrosion control. Here I'm on aircraft spruce looking up what is nitrate and why do they use nitrate. Well, they're saying on this that they use nitrate during World War I on wood, but it says no, it's what it says. Because of flammability issue with nitrate dope, another product came along during World War II. The product termed butyrate. It's essentially replaced the more flammable nitrate on most airplanes. Now they said here, and this is absolutely incorrect as far as that I know, is nitrate continues to shrink. But I was taught the opposite, that the butyrate is what continues to shrink. So, like I say, there must be 100 different answers for this. The first chemical developed and manufactured specifically for aircraft fabric was nitrate dope. It's made from nitrocellulose, a product that's highly flammable. Nitrate dope has been successfully used on fabric since the early World War I days. It was initially the only chemical applied to fabrics such as grade A cotton. Nitrate dope also continues to shrink as fabric as the years go by. The early pioneers learned just how tight shrink cotton. How to tight to shrink cotton prior to applying nitrate dope. They allowed for the shrinkage that would occur as the dope aged. Now, we were talking. Oh, lost my mic.
Well, in the day, they didn't have dope available for hobbyists, and they used to use old film, which is nitrocellulose, and
thinner,
they
yeah.
thin it down and make their own dope with it. It was nitrate dope because it's nitrocellulose.
Okay, I got a microphone again. I just stepped on the mic cord.
Oh,
But can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Better now or worse?
about the
About
same.
same.
Okay. Yeah, I was taught the exact opposite. So 6 to 1, half dozen the other. I have no clue. But I'm not using nitrate on anything, and I'll tell you why. You got to have a different thinner. It's just a pain in the ass. It's not fuel proof. Of course, neither is butyrate. It's fuel resistant, but there's no resistance to fuel with nitrate. So I say
Well,
I would wonder what they made the old fuel proofer from back in the days. What was that?
I don't know, but I remember what you're talking about.
I don't know, but I'm going to try my next airplane that I'm doing is a Ringmaster 576. Granted, it's not a great airplane, but I'm doing a Ringmaster 576 and I'm doing it Sparky's method. It's all butyrate from the ground up, and we're going to see what happens because I have never built one that I covered that I didn't use nitrate dope to stick the tissue down. And as soon as I get the tissue down, then I switch to butyrate. But I'm going to do this one all butyrate and see what happens.
Yeah, I've been doing all butyrate for years just because.
All I've ever done.
Yeah, same reason as Sparky. You only have to have one thinner. It works. It works and it works good, and you don't have any possibility of any problem between covering nitrate with butyrate.
I will tell you this. I probably mentioned it before because I do a lot of testing with paints and different things. The reason you can paint enamel over anything and dope over nothing, and especially, let me reiterate, you can't paint now I can't remember what the hell the name of that shit is that we used to use Aerogloss over anything, is because Aerogloss is MEK based. MEK you couldn't paint that over your car, which is a baked on powder coat. It would take the paint off. MEK
Wow.
hot shit.
Yeah.
Some good stuff.
I love it. I used to get it in 55-gallon drums. I would reach my hand down there and get a big rag and slop it all over. Of course, we had carbon tetrachloride too. You can't get that no more. That was great.
Well, I know how to make MEK, but I don't know. I've never never tried putting my hands in it. I've always used gloves.
Yeah.
I figured anything that'll lift the oil out of wood.
You know, I used to work for a dry cleaners, and I used to have to clean the filters out. That was carbon tetrachloride.
Yeah.
Nobody told me anything about it. I used barehanded. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Well, we used to clean selenium arsenic drum, polish them by hand too, but that's the reason I had to get out of copiers when I did.
A guy was watching me wash my hands with acetone, which is about half as strong as MEK. Said, "Oh, you're gonna kill yourself." I'm so old now. What's the difference? What's it gonna do? Cut off a year? Been doing it forever.
Yeah, supposedly MEK, what, attacks the liver, I think?
Yeah.
I remember something. But yeah,
Gee, maybe that's why
That's-
they say I'm having kidney failure, huh?
but
All
that's
that booze I drank when I was younger is what attacked my liver. So I don't think that I've been sniffing dope for 60 years. I don't think that that it's gonna hurt any.
yeah.
I,
I was gonna lay you down, goofy dog.
Sparky,
You-
I'm learning a new song called The Sailor's Prayer. And the chorus line goes, "The God above sent down a dove with beaks as sharp as razors to cut the throats of them there blokes what sells bad booze to sailors."
Yeah, I remember that. I remember hearing that.
I thought as a sailor, you probably like
Yeah.
be able to, you know.
What were you, John? Were you a bosun's mate?
I started out. Supposed to be an electronic technician. Then I was a bosun's mate because I got on board the ship as
Back a minute.
I wasn't a designated striker
Right.
for electronic technician. So they made me a bosun mate, and I finally convinced them that I really didn't want to be a bosun mate. I was the leading seaman on a forecastle at the time, and then I went into became a ship serviceman. Finished up my active duty, and I had a great time. I had a watch standard Liberty. I could go on shore anytime I wasn't working. It was great. So.
Well, they tried to make me an aviation electronics technician because when you take those ASVABs and the BTB and all that shit, I scored so high. Man,
Yeah.
they got me down in Millington taking those tests. They put me in a little cubicle. I bombed. I did not know that math, not a one lick. You know, math was never my strong suit.
Yeah.
I said, "You guys promised me an A school. You're gonna, I wanted to be a mechanic, and you put me in to be an electronics technician. Well, we're sorry. We're going to send you to the fleet. No, no, no." And I went to the chaplain over the captain's head, and I got my A school.
Did you?
Yep,
Which one they send you to?
AMS.
Yeah, okay. You
All these
You-
guys talk about what is your MOS?
yeah,
We didn't have no MOSs back then.
that's right. You were what they call them? What's that? Airedale. That's what you were. You were an
Right.
Airedale.
Black
Yeah.
shoe. You were brown
Yeah.
shoe.
Yeah. After I went into became a ship serviceman, I remember all my buddies that had worked with me and for me on the forecastle. They were working their butts off, chipping paint and doing all that Navy sailor stuff, And I I come out and spread my blanket out on the fantail and sat back there and collected a few rays because I was off duty and I didn't have to, I didn't have to go do it. I didn't have to watch the stand.
You trying to piss people off?
Well, I was just showing them that there was another side to being in the Navy.
I just never figured John for the guy that's going to go out there and try to piss a bunch of people off. But that sounds like what you're doing.
No, I wasn't trying to.
Look, dummies, if you just done the right thing, you could be out here sunning too.
Well, I tried. I had a couple of guys that were giving me a bunch of shit about, a bunch of crap, same difference,
There you go.
about becoming a ship serviceman, doing a laundry, that
Yeah.
That's kind of like, oh, so now you're the washerwoman, huh? You know, that kind of bull crap. And so I was just showing them that there is advantages, and I thought them out fully before I made the change.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd pull into a port, we'd pull into Kaohsiung in Taiwan, 9 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't go on duty till midnight. So at 9:30, when the ship was tied up and the quarterdeck was set up, I was on the shore on Liberty until midnight when I went on my duty.
Poor thing.
Yeah, it was
Poor
terrible.
thing.
There was
But how did
nobody
you
else
stay
on.
awake?
There was nobody. Listen, I ran the laundry. Okay, I was the only one there, right? I
Yeah.
get a load in and got everything going, and I'd have like an hour or close to an hour there, and I just take one of those laundry bags and lay it out, and I plop on top of it, and I sleep.
Mm.
I could lock the laundry up so nobody could come in, and there I was. I'd be laying there sleeping while everything was washing, and the alarm would go off. I'd get up and I'd unload it and reload another one, and there I was again. Okay, I did have to press a lot of. I learned how to work a press and how to press pants and shirts and hat covers, and I even
Yeah.
one
We-
time I took one guy we were giving him a ration of crap as well, just having fun with him. And I washed and starched his underwear and starched him as stiff as a board and pressed him and hung him on the door where his office was.
We didn't have a work.
Oh,
All we did was sat in the office and played spades.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
We
Well,
only
we had
worked
one
four
guy-
tens.
We had one guy show up, came on board the ship. He was a brand new chief petty officer. And he'd been on a cruiser, and cruisers kind of spit and polish. A destroyer is a lot more relaxed.
Mm.
And he came on with a cruiser attitude and come up and told me that he wanted his uniforms returned to his quarters on hangars. And I said, I can't do that. And he said, why? I said, because that would be treating you special. And it says right here, and I showed it to him, we aren't supposed to treat anybody special. Everybody, I said, the captain gets his shirts folded, pressed and folded. And if he wants them on hangers, his stewards take them, unfold them, repress them, and put them on hangers for him. But I can't do it. I have to do. And he got really upset, was giving me a bad bit of trouble. And my guy I worked for, the first class, came in and ordered me to do it. And I says, that's an unlawful order. I can't do that. He got really pissed. And the third class that I was in there working with said, hey, John, what you're doing? Hold up. This is just tell me to do it. I said, okay. I was mad. I said, okay, I'll do it. And they left. And I looked at the third class, and he just looked at me. He says, when that guy's stuff comes in, just take it, separate it out, set it aside. I'm coming on at 4 o'clock. I'll take care of it on the evening shift. So what are you going to do? He says, I'll come around about 8 o'clock and I'll show you. So I went in there at 8 o'clock, and he says, you're just in time. He takes this guy's stuff and puts it in the washer and takes a piece of fiberglass repair cloth about that big. All right. And throws it in
oh,
the washer.
brother.
Mm.
Washes it all up and gets it out, and he starches it up, presses what needs to be pressed. What didn't need to be pressed, he didn't. Folded the stuff up and put it on hangers and sent it to him. And son of a gun, the guy came down with this terrible rash. And they sent, this is no bullshit. They sent him to the hospital ship. And he was there for like 5 days. And of course, they took him out and put him in a hospital robe, and he got better. Oh my goodness! So I figured, well, whatever we did was got him right, So they put him back in his uniform, sent him back to the ship, and he broke out in a rash again. So they sent him back to the hospital ship. Now this guy had over 20 years in the Navy, so he was going to get retirement no matter what. But it turned out is that the third time they sent him back to the ship like that, to the hospital ship, They decided to send him into the psych ward
Ooh,
because they determined that secretly, deep down, he hated the Navy. And that's why he's having these breakouts. Every time they put him in a uniform and send him back to duty, he would break out again. Okay? He wound up with a medical discharge, which was a heck of a lot better retirement than he would have gotten had he put in 30 years.
hmm.
And but he was gone. He was no longer on the ship. We didn't have to worry about him anymore.
What was his rank?
Chief Petty Officer.
Oh,
You know,
How
the
many
tan
guys?
uniform, not the bell bottoms.
yeah.
It amazes me how many of the guys that I work with are medically discharged and have a percentage of disability, but I don't see that they're disabled. They're fine. I mean, other than some of them are scared to death of snakes, and some of them other things set them off. You know, just they're whatever. I just don't see it. But I mean, you know, it's everybody's got their quirks.
Yeah. Did you ever see George Carlin's routine on language?
Oh yeah,
He did a
7
thing
words
about
you can never say on television.
no. He was talking about how language changed over time. He said, uh, back in, I guess it was World War One, condition was called shell shock.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
And then a little later on, it was combat fatigue.
yeah,
Get slapped
And
in the
now,
face by the
it's
general. Yeah.
now it's PTSD.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Well,
the same thing. They just changed the language.
Well, listen, I
got
know a
tickled.
guy from the Vietnam era that has PTSD. He was with the 101st Airborne.
I got several of them.
He was ordered to kill people that he didn't
Uh,
think needed to be killed.
yeah.
He was involved in the
What the
My Lai
heck?
thing,
Ooh.
and he has dreams and problems so bad he hasn't been able to work a day in his life.
Oh,
He's
that's
tried
terrible.
it. He's tried it. He just can't do it. He is so messed up. He's on 100% disability.
I don't doubt it. And those guys, some of those guys are in bad shape.
Yeah. But I don't know. I wonder what would happen if I put a control line airplane in his hand. Would he be able to fly it? I think
I
he
don't
could.
know. I've got a friend who suffers from that, and I mean, his hands shake so bad. But you take him to a gun range and put a pistol in his hand, he
Just
will
as
tear the
steady as a
center out
rock.
of that target. He'll tear the center out of that target every time. And I'm talking about with my gun. He's not even used to it.
Yeah.
He wore me out with my own pistol. And I was
There's those
I'm
that
pretty,
can and those that can't, Phil.
I'm telling you,
Some of
he
them
was
just got
amazing.
it, dude. That's just the way it works.
He was amazing. But he shook so bad. It just watching him walk with a cane was scary because it looked like it was gonna, there's no way he's gonna be steady. And I put that Glock in his hand and he just
But you know,
right dead in the center.
I know a guy that had the same trade or training as far as a sign painter that Sparky had. I've watched Sparky. Sparky's very, very good at what he does with that. This guy shook so bad, and it was like he'd get that brush in his hand, and he'd be shaking it like this, and then boom, he'd hit that thing. I can't do it. He'd hit that, and he could do his lines as straight as you could imagine. Pull away, and he'd be shaking again.
Yeah. That's exactly the way he was. It scared me for him to hold the gun because I was afraid it was going to go off.
Hmm.
But he'd take his finger off the trigger and just put it down to the other, so you knew it wasn't.
Yeah.
But it was scary how bad he shook. Poor fellow's
Well,
gone now. I miss him. He was also the best Datsun mechanic I've ever known. But anyway,
I moved. If you look over here in the corner, all those airplanes that I fell on are, oops,
you moved them all out of there.
they're all gone.
Well, I hope, how many of them did you find were repairable and how many were not repairable?
Well, I found that all but two were damaged, but none of them. There's one that I may need to build a new half wing for. That's the biplane.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a
And
gorgeous wing.
yeah, well, it's all right. I've got the files to get them laser cut, you know.
Yeah.
And that one will need a new stab and elevator. And then the Pathfinder LE needs a new stab and elevator because it's broke, you know, and I won't try to glue it together. You know, I'll just remove it and build a new one for it. And then the little one that like Buddy Barbie's going to be building, that little twin boomer, that one, the wing is not broken, but it's broken loose from the fuselage, so that won't be bad fix. The worst one to work on is going to be the Torino because that's an I-beamer, and that inboard wing, the whole top half of that inboard wing is crushed, even tore the polish band.
Oh.
It was holding and just ripped. Just anyway, that one I'm going to have to see if I can manage to block up the fuselage. Probably have to take the top and bottom blocks off the fuse and reset it and rebuild the wing, that inboard wing completely to get it straight. But none of them are as bad a fix as I thought it'd be. It just means that I'm going to have to spend some time with it to make sure it's done right. So I've decided that I'm not gonna do it right away. I've got a couple that I want to get built. So I've got something to fly. My my All-American Eagle is undamaged, and that one was the one I have to get in there and re-weld or re-solder the flap horn. That's the one that has the flap horn that's loose. And that's about all that has to be done to that. And that was one of that and my Pathfinder LE were probably my two best flying ones that I had. So if I can get that back to fly, and that'll give me something to fly competitively.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm building the little LE, the little 1520 size Pathfinder LE, and it's tail dragger. It's about 400, almost 500 square inches, 485, 495, something like that. And it's going to be paired with a 20 size. It'd be electric though. So get that done, and I've got a couple of. One of the things I want to do, I have this itch all of a sudden. My second big airplane was a super ringmaster, and I've located a kit of a super ringmaster. When I was in the Navy in Long Beach, I went to the hobby store. I bought me a super ringmaster kit. They were only like $4.95 in those days. I'm paying $100 for the one that I found. Anyway, and I built that. And some of the guys in the Los Angeles area were moving the landing gear from the fuselage into the wings, and it looked really cool. And so I built that one that way. Well, I want to build a new one that way, and I want to build one basically stock, and then I want to build one kind of like that when you're getting ready to cover or paint or there, Phil. That was that 579 or
576. If you decide to do a 576, I highly recommend you look at the 576S, the one that Pat designed. It's Pat designed this one too, but it's the one that our little buddy over here flies quite well. It has flaps, and he's spooky with his. Let me tell you.
Did he lengthen the fuse on that, Pat?
I don't know. Ask him.
No, not that's bone stock.
Really?
Well, I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
what, you watch it fly and you think you're watching a PA ship. It is, it's him, but he's amazing with it.
Well,
Of
now
course, he's amazing
the
with a regular ringmaster.
that's the 5.76 wing, though, right?
Yes, but the one that Tom Dixon sells got full flaps. The one Pat
Yeah.
designed has not even 3/4 flaps. They're small, and the trailing edge spar is tapered this way and from the flap lines. You got to double taper this and taper it to fit the sheeting. It's like the sheeting, you just cut the sheeting off, insert the spar at the right place, and it's all makes a trailing edge spar. It's a
Okay.
little tricky, but you hand
Well,
sand it till you get it where you want it, and it might take two of them.
Yeah. I
I'll
did
get
one
hold
trick
of-
to mine, and I recommend it. I don't know if anybody will ever do it other than me, but I took mine and put, instead of having that sheet leading edge that you have to sand everything down, I put a little curtain, just went ahead and put a round on the front of my ribs. I think it was a quarter. I can't remember what it was. Something looked like it fit, so I traced it on all the ribs. The leading edges are the same. Very close anyway. If they're not the same, they're close.
It
I
is.
can't
It's the
remember.
same all the way out.
Just do that on the front and then just wrap your leading edge. Mine's one piece of sheeting from spar to spar.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, and it just worked out so easy. You don't have to do any of that sanding. Everything's nice and neat. And it just looks so nice that it just makes you think, well, I think I'll spend a little extra time and do a little neater woodwork on the rest of this wing. The only thing I've got on mine that gripes me is I used a black pin on it one place, and I can't get the black out. I'm afraid it's going to show through
Use
because I want
shellac.
to do it clear.
Sand it
Huh?
down, put some shellac on there, and then paint over it because the shellac will block it. You do that on houses
Okay.
where the kids have drawn on crayons, whatever on the
Yeah.
wall, and you know it always comes through. Actually, there's a white type of a paint you can get at the paint store to cover that. It's basically a white shellac, and you just put it on there
Yeah,
and let it dry and paint over it.
Yeah, it's made for ceilings. I forgot the
yeah.
name of it, but
Kills it's the paint you're talking
Kills
about.
it.
Kills, that's the one.
That's
That's
it.
what I'm thinking of.
I would take a paper towel and wipe on it, and I just pour thinner on it. Keep pouring thinner to soak it off in there as long as I could. But if you brush CA on that, that's going to seal that heifer. It ain't going to leak.
Oh
through.
yeah, you got that right.
Brush
well, that's
CA
true, but
on
it's
it.
still going to show. Those the problem.
Oh,
It's
you mean
still
it?
got-
You mean it's going to be a clear finish?
Yeah.
Oh well, then you're going to have to. I'd definitely take thinner and paper towels and soak it back out.
I'll
Yep.
give that a try. I'll give that a try
I'd
because
try.
this thing is.
I'd try.
This
Well-
thing is. I have found that I really enjoy clearing the wing. Make the wing just clear, and then go get some A-line dye and shoot it in thinner on the wing to give me the color that I want. And then put any trim. I put any trim colors. Like my little ringmaster. That's the way it was done.
Well,
You
did
saw it
you?
last year.
Were you at Brodax last year, weren't you, Phil?
Yeah.
Did you see that airplane I flew called a Venus that Pete
Yeah.
Peterson built? That
Yeah.
right there is beautiful, built like that.
Yeah, it is. I was hoping you was going to leave it laying there and walk away. You was going to come back to a set of lines.
I'm gonna bring it in the Ringmaster. Is all I'm bringing this year.
I don't think Pete used aniline dye. I think he.
I don't know what he used, but you can see the wood grain through everything.
He gets some kind of a color, like color code or something like that, and he mixes that in.
It's a dye. I'm sure he dyed something.
Yeah, it's a dye of some kind,
but
or it's an ink of some
It's
kind.
beautiful.
It
Well,
is.
if you want to, if somebody wants to do it, all you got to do is build a plane in clear and put 4 coats of good clear on it. Sand it down, get it done, get everything done. Shoot one more sealing coat of clear on it, and then let that dry good. Go get you a little bottle. It's about that big. It's about $6 of A-line dye at a good woodworking store. It's made to stain wood. And you take that and put it in your thinner. Don't put it in clear. You put it in your thinner. And you just spray the wing, spray the whole thing, and it goes a long way. You'll have plenty enough to do the whole airplane if you want to, but do the wing, get it the way you want it, put the rest of it on a shelf. It will keep. Because I've got some down there that's 10 years old and I just used it on an airplane. It worked.
Hey Phil,
But Yes, sir.
Before we get too far off of it, I want to talk to you some more about that Ringmaster 574. I think it's 6.
Yeah.
See, what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to use the stock wing, this 576 wing stab and elevator, and that's it. And where the fuselage is a profile, I want to put a super ringmaster type profile on there.
Well, it ought to work. I don't see any
Well,
reason
yeah.
why not.
But see, I'm thinking that there's got to be. I mean, that's not the stock trailing edge or not
No,
stock.
it's a built up. It's two pieces.
Well, no, what I'm trying to say is that the length of the between the flap hinge line and the elevator hinge line has got to be longer than what it
Oh,
would
yeah.
be on
No, it don't.
a.
You don't need to change it. It works
Wait,
great. just
wait,
leave.
wait, what I'm trying to say, that on the 576, it's got to be longer than on the stock ringmaster.
Oh, yes, it is.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
scaled
That's
up.
what I'm trying to say.
It's all
gotta
scaled
be.
up properly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a it's not an S1 fuselage. The wing, it's scaled up. Everything's scaled up. I
All
could
right.
go measure the hinge line. I can't tell you what it is, but
Well,
it's not.
I
It's bigger. You know.
can get hold of Pat. He doesn't live, but maybe 500 miles away. And we've already swapped. Some
If you
things
just
back
build
and
a
forth.
stock 576, put an LA 46 on it, you won't
You'll have
be
a
too
winner.
disappointed. Yeah.
Well, I want to have the super ringmaster fuselage.
I don't know what a super ringmaster is.
That's full bodied one.
It's a built up.
You
It's a
mean
built up.
the same size as a ringmaster? Is a
Yeah.
super? Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
not near big enough fuselage. The wing would overpower that. The wing's way bigger
mean,
than.
You'd have to
Well,
scale
no,
the
but I'd
fuselage
scale
up, too.
that
Yeah, you
fuselage
could scale
up.
it up. Yeah, you could do that.
I'd scale it up to fit it.
Yeah, you could just. I don't know if it'd take 120%, slide the wing in it, and go off life or not.
It's
could
not,
go-
It's not a
you
hard.
Probably not
you
that
could get-
big. It's
you-
probably
I could-
115.
All you gotta do is measure the hinge lines
It's not
and
that hard to do.
scale the fuselage up till you get there.
It's not that hard to do when you're working with
No.
CAD.
No.
Okay, it's real simple. So that's what I would like to do, because like I say, the Super Ringmaster was my second big airplane.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Pat Johnson's got a full-bodied 576. Now, how close it is to looking like a Super Ringmaster, I don't know.
Well,
But probably pretty close, knowing
I imagine it would be. I'll give him a call and see what he's got. You know.
he's got lots of Ringmaster designs. I don't know how many.
Yeah. He uses that plus P wing of his. That's basically the Pathfinder airfoil. We both derived at it the same way. You draw an ellipse and you bring a line from the trailing edge to where it's tangent to the ellipse, and you get rid of what's not needed and tie it all together, and you got a nice airfoil.
Excuse me there, John. Mark,
Yeah.
we got any Bearcat updates?
Not much on the Bearcat. I've been doing a 3-dimensional jigsaw puzzle,
Yeah.
trying to find all the right pieces and put part of it back together.
Oh, geez.
That's a shame.
My wife likes to do jigsaw puzzles, so I told her she should come downstairs and help me.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. There you
Girls
go.
are good at that. Colleen helped me before on one that did that.
Colleen is really good at untangling lines.
She is. She helped Sparky one time, didn't she, Sparky?
Yeah.
We got some other stuff going on here now. The season's starting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So the club meeting on Tuesday night in Arvada for the Arvada Associated Modelers is what they call the I Built It contest.
Here's Keith's
And
little.
you can bring in your airplane and put it on display.
Try champ.
And there's different
Sweet pea.
categories. There's scratch built.
There's Keith's little
kit built.
Hughes fighter, twin engine fighter there.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is Keith.
Thunderbird.
This is Keith Throstle's here.
Yeah,
XF11.
yeah.
And then there's ARFs, which is some of these.
Yeah.
And then there's Old Time. I think this Sweet Pea over here is an Old Time.
I thought
entry.
that was Keith's also. Is that not Keith's?
I believe so.
I think it is.
And then they have a Pilot's Choice and they have a Best of Show. So they give out awards. So I'd go down. It's a lot of fun. Sit there and
Sure.
talk to everybody, get to see everybody.
Looks like there's a sailplane behind that red and white one.
Yeah, and
Bird
they
of
bring in
town,
all.
looks
There's
like.
even a rubber powered plane there last year, I think. And
So they
then
have all,
That little
All-
XF11 of Keith's is really half A scale, and it's really nice.
yeah, he got first prize in scratch built. I got second. My T-Bird.
so that's all disciplines, control
Yeah,
line,
there's
RC,
no
free
yeah.
flight.
Well, it's primarily a radio control club, but they welcome us control line guys, and we've got a circle out at the field. And
Nice.
Very neat.
if any club is looking for help, buddying up
Yeah.
to a radio control club is not a bad idea.
No.
Makes sense to me.
And then I got an email. Well, anyway, I'm going to take down my Ryan tomorrow night. Put that on display and see what happens.
That's
That-
sharp.
That rascal's awesome. I've seen it. I've launched it. Heck, I've held
That
it.
is sharp.
And
That
then
is sharp.
I got an email from Lynn Boss today. He's got the concrete circle here down east of Denver.
It's a ringmaster right there.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure who
Yeah.
that is.
You can tell by the rudder.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Looks
He's
like
gonna
it's
have a-
staying
he's
on
gonna
my
have a f-
computer. I don't know how you guys can see that.
Mm.
he's going to have a fun fly on Saturday, the weekend of Memorial Day. So that'll be fun. Again, we get down there and kind of get together with everybody.
Sure.
And once in a while, we put up a flight to justify being there.
Sounds like
Yeah.
a speed circle.
Here's
Oh,
Lynn's
look
circle.
at that.
He's had this circle for over 20 years now.
Wow.
This
Good
is all
gracious.
concrete. And the concrete center pad. Then he's got this infield here is fabric covered.
Hmm.
And the pit area over here is fabric covered as well.
That's nice.
And then he's got a grass field out behind that. That's sharp.
Well, actually, it started out, I think they were going to try to do a
Water one, wasn't it?
water. Yeah, they're going to fill this with water
Hmm.
and be able to do floatplanes and control line.
Oh, cool.
And I don't know if they ever did it or not, but in the time I've been going down there, there's never been any water in there.
That's
Now,
sharp.
is that, the rest of that is parking? That's not an RC runway?
Right. This is all gravel.
Oh, okay.
Well kept, but this is all gravel parking area around the circle, and this is concrete here where the circle is.
You could fly RC.
You imagine having a lot that big? Good gracious.
Hmm.
He's got really
Sparky
good
heads like
neighbors
that.
too. They haven't complained. He's been doing this for 20 years and they haven't complained, but they've got really big lots.
Oh,
In that
this is
area.
his own private field.
Yeah, this is Lynn's house right there.
That's his home.
Oh,
That's where he
my
lives.
goodness. Oh, that would be wonderful.
That's better than Brodak's.
Yeah, I mean, I maintain this is the best flying circle in the country.
That's
It's-
better than what Howard Rush has.
It's perfectly level. And it's concrete all the way around. Plenty of room, to do long lines or short lines.
Don't have any cracks opening up like asphalt does.
No,
It's beautiful, but I guess you haven't been to Joe Nall, huh?
no, I haven't.
Yeah, wait till you get there.
They have a concrete circle.
No, grass.
Okay.
It'd be
They got
way
grass circles that you can fly half A's on and they not tump over.
Yeah, they're like putting greens, I hear.
Anyway,
They are. They are. It's
Um,
beautiful.
on the home front, I just got some of this Fab Tac Ambroid like cement. I had a tube that a friend of mine sent me, and I've been using it. I like it. It's a little thinner than Ambroid, but you put it in a syringe and it doesn't get hard
Wow.
like Ambroid does.
It sounds like a
Smell
plus.
like Ambroid?
Yeah,
Little bit, they tell me.
There you go. It's a good
That's
shit.
all Tribble. That's all Tribble builds with right there.
so you can get this at Aircraft Spruce.
By the gallon or the quart.
Yeah, and I got a pint. But
Very
I
neat.
opened it up. I opened it up today. I was getting ready to use it to put part of the Bearcat back together, and here it is in a syringe. But it's a
Just
lot
gonna ask.
darker color than it was what my friend sent me. So I got to talk to him and see. I don't. It was, it seems like it's the same stuff, but the color's a lot darker.
Hmm.
So anyway, that's
That's super.
kind of
It'll
the
be
highlights
fine.
from
I want
around
to hear how
here.
that works for you, Mark.
Well,
Yeah, I'd like to know
I
that.
been using it. I used it to help put the Bearcat together in the first place in some of the surface joints, and I'm going to use it to put it back together in some of the surface joints. So
It'll be fine. It's good glue.
yeah,
Does that
you
stuff
got
sand?
you got to double glue everything because it's really thin compared to Ambride. You had double glue as well, but
What I've heard people doing, Mark, they just set out what they want to use in a jar and let it sit for 2 days. Then suck the thick stuff up in your syringe and you got thicker glue.
yeah, you could do that too.
That's what
But
they've done.
I haven't had much trouble with it being too thin, so I just go ahead
Okay.
and they put it in a monoject syringe, and like I said, it doesn't
That's
get
pretty
hard
neat.
like Ambroid will.
Where are you getting those syringes? I used to have a few and I never been able to source them.
I don't
You
know.
can
I
get
think
them from Brodak, but
I got them off of eBay. Brodex got them. I think you can even get them off of Amazon
I was
Amazon.
thinking maybe Amazon might have
for
Amazon,
them.
that's
various
a good
prices.
idea. That's a
Well, that's
good
a
idea. I
monoject.
hadn't thought
That's a
about
number
Amazon.
4. That's a 4-ounce one, or no? What
No,
is
no,
it?
it's not
No,
4 ounces.
no.
It's like
40
419.
milliliters, yeah, or something.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know what the 4 means.
I think it's 412 or something like that.
412
Yeah,
milliliters or
that's
millicentimeters
I
or
think
something.
that's the model number. I don't think that's
Yeah,
the.
yeah, I think that's right.
I think it would only hold about an ounce, maybe an ounce and a half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, is that little tip you got on there? Is that something you made, or does that come with it?
No, I made that.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
homemade. I painted it bright color because I kept losing it.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Is that made out of balsa or what?
yeah, I made out of balsa. I just drilled a hole in the end of it and
You could take a ball of silicone, let it dry,
stick it
and
right on there.
stick it right on there. Just
Yeah.
Oh, so that's just a
a seal.
block, seal.
Just a seal.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
a 1/4 inch piece of balsa stock
Well, that's just slicker than snot.
with a hole
It is.
drilled in the end, and then, like I said, I painted it a real bright color
Yeah, okay.
so I don't lose it.
You could put the same stuff in a Sig Blue bottle if you wanted to.
Yeah, yeah. I think this Fab Tac would go in a lot of different
Yeah,
glue,
it
glue
works a lot of,
dispensers.
yeah.
Anyway, that's what I've been playing around with in addition to putting the Bearcat back together. So
There, Jim.
Neat.
Hi, Jim.
Hey, how are you?
Jim's building something.
I am. Actually, I shouldn't be gluing. I'm about to stir up some epoxy. I'm starting a big one actually. I'm building tail surfaces out of foam.
Ah,
Here's an elevator
cool.
core. And
What's it going to be?
another Predator.
Oh,
So
very nice.
I got the stab done here.
Gracious.
The stab is done. It's a foam core with carbon strips along the trailing edge and 1/32 skins. It's pretty
nice.
stiff. It's light. I used epoxy to bond this, and I'm going to use Z-epoxy finishing resin to bond the elevators. Kind of lets me do a apples to apples test of the weight of both materials.
Very neat. Very neat.
So I'm a slow builder. I'm a slow builder. But
You're standing
You're
up
not
and
alone
doing
there.
it though.
yeah. I have a nice indoor shop right in the house, so I can piddle at it whenever I want. And I just, I fly all year round, so you're always doing maintenance on things, and that gets in front of building stuff too.
Yeah.
That's the bad part about living in Arizona. You see, you don't have a building season. It's always flying season.
No, you have a building season every day at noon to 9.
Oh,
When
That's
it's
right.
100 outside, you go build.
yeah, that's
That's
true.
right.
That's true.
That's right. I do. In the heat of the summer is when I do a lot of building.
You bet.
I get up way too early every day, and I usually spend an hour in the shop at dark o'clock too, building.
Mm.
Quiet, peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite time to build too. Oh, dark 30.
So I've been gathering stuff for a year to build this thing. Wood, controls, powertrains, all that stuff. So
What you gonna put in there for powertrain?
I've got a second generation Igor system. I've got a 3515 badass motor. I've got a spinner made by Pablo. Very nice carbon
does that
spinner.
Wow, that is nice.
And I've been using Igor props. I've got a Falcon prop. So that's what the powertrain will be.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
That will be nice.
Is this the super secret Igor #2 that you're talking about?
Yeah, it's nothing secret about it.
It's out now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
flew one 2 weeks ago.
what'd you think?
It's impressive.
yeah, I've flown them too. It can break downhill, which is really cool.
I didn't care for that. Not
No.
as much as it did. But to each his own. You can
Yeah,
make
I'm
it do more. You can make it do more than I want to make it do.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's been my fault, my problem on the original Igor system. I don't experiment with it enough. I've got a setup that I like, and I tend to leave it alone.
Yeah.
I watch these guys at the World Champs. They're changing it every flight.
Yeah.
Even Chris Cox got on me once. He gave me a hard time. Says, you don't adjust that enough. You should play with it more. He's right.
Wow.
But you got to write down what you did so you know you can double it next time. You got to, the conditions, I think, is important on that.
Yep.
Howard keeps a book, I think.
I do too.
Jim does
I
too,
keep a
yeah.
log.
Yeah.
Yeah, I log everything. The electric's more than the glow.
It's like Tom Martin said, do something, and if it's wrong, you'll learn something.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the electrics are nice because they're incredibly repeatable. So, but yeah, I keep a log and I use a spreadsheet so that I can go back and search on things, and pretty useful. Pretty useful.
I just want to know how you electric guys find a drive and a spinner that works.
Spinners are hard.
Man.
Spinners are hard.
Ridiculous.
True turns. I really am sad that True Turn went away.
Yeah.
They made beautiful spinners, and I've bought several from Eastern Europe, and one I sent back. But this one from Pablo is very good. Very
Yeah,
good.
but that's not what I'm talking about, Jim. What I'm talking about is, do you have a drive? A drive and a way to attach it, because it seems like you got to mismatch everything in your shop to make a spinner work.
Showing Pablo's, it's right.
It's
right.
a collet. It's
Make
a
'em
collet.
Hold on.
It's built all in one. They're awesome.
How much is that?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
It only hurts for a minute.
Okay. Is that the backside?
Yes.
Back.
Here's the front.
Okay. And
All right, you want me to take it apart?
yeah,
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
bolt
Yeah.
going down
bolt.
through it. Yeah.
Yep.
See, why can't people in America come up with something? They got these Mickey Mouse two bolt spinners, and this back plate will fit with that, and this will fit with that drive washer. And every time that I've monkeyed with them, I can't, you got to go through 15 different spinners to make one fit.
I think this is the right thing from what I see.
It looks like it has a lot of purchase on the shaft. That's good because it goes way down in there.
Yeah. Oh,
Comes apart till you want to take it apart, right?
yeah, I got to
Right.
find the right size metric wrench.
Metric screwdriver.
Oh man, metric weird.
As long as you got the tools, it don't matter.
All right, stand by.
See, it ain't as easy as you think. Not them stupid. Somebody needs to come up with a Randy type spinner. Just
That one
wheel,
pretty much is, I think.
put it together, and that's it.
Why don't you do that, Bob? Instead of screwing with this perky stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, somebody just take the True Turn design and clone it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what they had is they had superior machining and better run out than anybody else, and their stuff runs perfect. Here we go. The proof of the pudding to us was Callantine built a Raby Sea Fury electric with a 3-inch spinner,
Wow.
and he could not find electric motors have a 5 millimeter shaft, so the
All of them?
bearing, the ones I've dealt with, yeah, the bearings and the shaft are a little wimpier than glow motors, and so things have to be better balanced. And the True Turn was the only one that he could make work on a 3-inch spinner. All right, so here's the carbon shell.
How much does all that weigh?
Oh, it's pretty light. I'll tell you.
My Medusas weigh 7 grams, but you can't get them no more. I think
So
I need
here's the inside.
Yeah, that looks different.
no, I look the same as what you got. That blue thing is just a prop spacer.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
hold it up so we can see it.
Here's the back plate.
Oh, I like that. It's actually set up like so it sucks air through it.
Is that
pulling
aluminum,
air.
Jim?
Say again, Mark.
Is that aluminum?
Yeah, it's all aluminum, including the collet, and that's a problem I'll talk about.
There
And
you
the cone is carbon. And
All is the problem, right?
well, the collet is fine, except the gall. They'll gall sometimes.
Yeah, aluminum,
And-
aluminum.
And I had to build essentially a little, now and again, they'll freeze onto the shaft. So you have to find a way to build a little gear puller to do it, but I did. All right, let me weigh it. Stand by. $23 grams, which is 0.8 ounces.
Pretty light. Not as light as Medusa, but pretty light.
Yep, pretty
All
light.
right. Was that less than $100?
Yes, but not
Yes.
much.
But
Not
not
much.
much.
Yep. And
Can't get
you
two
know,
for
I
100.
and I went with a 3-blade, but you know, if you're gonna buy a 2-blade, then you need another spinner, or at least the nose cone.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
You got it on backwards. You got the
Oh yeah. Thank you, sir.
yeah.
that's right.
There we go. I don't do this in public much.
Yeah.
And
That's
what
a
size is that
turbulator.
bolt that they're putting in there?
Probably a five.
It's metric.
Metric.
Metric,
five.
yeah.
I'd have to. All right, you're gonna make me do that. Okay, stand
I
by.
wonder if it's a 3 millimeter.
No, it looks like it's about a
I think it's
4
five.
or a 5.
Well, it's a bigger spinner though than what I'm trying to use.
Just take it to the shop with you and that kid will put a bolt in it and it'll be fine.
3 millimeters.
3.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
And
And
how
it's,
long is it?
it's very long. It's about 1.5 inches.
yeah.
You're
looks
not
like it.
going to find this at Ace Hardware.
No, no. I ordered an assortment from Micro Fasteners. Of course, everything there is millimeters, not inches.
You forgot your prop spacer.
Yeah,
Oh, the big blue thing.
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
That's just a shade smaller than a 4 millimeter, than a 440.
Now, I
That's
wasn't planning on a show and tell here.
that's a
Nope.
first class spinner right there, y'all.
That is, that's
Oh yeah,
really
I
nice.
bet for $100.
You know, you
Oh, I think that's-
balk at $100, but you got no idea how much work went into making that thing.
I think it. I
Oh,
thought
I'm sure. Yeah, you can see that.
I agree. I agree. And if it was in U.S., remember these are in Ukrainian dollars or Slovakian dollars. So that's what makes all these European airplanes, with $3,000 R viable is the value of the dollar. I mean, if it was made in America, it'd be $10,000.
Mm.
you think you fuss about a $60 spinner. We went to El Dorado this weekend and spent a lot of money traveling.
Mhm.
To
I
5
agree.
days. When you got quality, you'll have quality as long as you own that rascal.
Yep. I agree, Joe. My time is incredibly valuable to
Absolutely.
me.
Yeah.
And the traveling associated with toy airplanes is not cheap.
But Colleen and I enjoy the people. That's what
Yeah.
There were
So-
25 people flying in El Dorado, Arkansas this weekend. 25.
I thought
A
that
big
contest.
contest.
I thought that contest was later in the year. Did they move
They got
it?
two. They got two.
Oh, they have two.
They got one in May and one in November.
Ah, okay. I only knew about the November one.
Yeah, they got two. There
Well,
was 15 experts on Sunday.
I showed Steve $30,000 worth of Nats badges today.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, from going all the years, you mean?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Oh crap.
Yeah. He's got a badge.
I could
got
do
a
the same
badge from
thing
every
with
year.
Tucson trophies. Count my Tucson trophies and multiply by 1,000.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
But
right.
I did clue Sparky in on entering a unofficial event is a lot less expensive. If you're going to fly Classic or N30 or Classic or N30.
Wow. Well, I find entry fees to be minuscule compared to travel expenses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's still the cost of one night in a motel room, the Nats.
Yeah.
130, $130 to enter.
Right. Right. And I bet all of you eat.
You got
Yep.
every time you go to the Nats, it's $1,000, and I'm not as far away as you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right for me too.
Yep. That's about what VSC cost me too, $1,000. And I live nearby.
We can't
Yeah.
do it. We can't go to Tucson for $1,000. There's no way.
Oh no. No.
No, not from I
Not
couldn't
from
either
Tulsa.
from I don't think I could go to Brodak for
No.
that.
Two.
Yeah, you can.
No.
You can get to Brodax in one day.
Oh, I
getting
couldn't.
Brodax in one day.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I'd have to stop halfway.
It's 2.5 days for me.
Maybe
make
next
it-
year.
Take
I'll
me
make
2 to
it in
3
one
days.
day.
Yeah, you're an old truck driver.
Takes me 2 to 3 days to get there.
Colleen and I came home from North Carolina, triple tree to our house, 1,000.1 miles in 15 hours and 15 minutes in one day. That's a long day, dude.
Yep.
I went to North Carolina from here, Huntersville, or is that South Carolina, whatever. And Hey Jack was driving along with me. He said, "Well, I can drive." I said, "No, that's okay. I'll drive."
Hey, Jack drove the whole way.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
one setting.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll drive. Oh, that's okay. I got it. I'm awake.
No,
Yeah,
that's
he was
dangerous.
He was an interesting guy.
He'll scare the crap out of you when you're riding.
So,
The cost of toy airplanes is minute compared to a lot of things you do. Go join a
Well-
Model T Ford club and see what it costs you. Hudson Hornet or a Corvette club or
Couldn't afford to do it.
everything.
Full scale airplane.
Oh gosh,
yeah. How about that chipmunk you own?
yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
nope.
Nothing's free.
No, no.
Airplanes are cheap compared to full scale.
Yeah.
And if you go buy a Blue Max or a Shark and you get $3,500 in it, I wouldn't build you a first class simp chip for $3,500.
Nope. That's right.
Yeah. If I added up everything I put into that Crossfire,
Jim,
ain't gonna be 3,500, but
no,
it'd be at least
it'd be hard.
1,000.
Be $1,000. I don't know that you could build a first class stunt chip for $1,000.
It's more than $1,000 for that Crossfire, Steve.
And it's not a first class ship either.
No. No.
Yeah, but you built it.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh man, it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
called
keep track of
learn as you
a
go.
lot of things, but I don't keep track of what these things cost.
I don't
No.
know. No.
Gary,
Colin's
Yeah,
lived.
you'd
He knows.
scare yourself.
Go to the paint store and take a $100 bill. You won't even get paintbrush hardly for $100.
not good paintbrushes.
Yeah,
Some of them,
the
some
car
of them
paint
are
store
40,
is
$50
pricey.
by themselves.
Yeah.
Is that a ringmaster hanging behind you upside down in the Aries? Is that an Aries?
Yeah.
I remember
yeah,
that Aries.
I remember that Aries too.
That's an old Aries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I looked around. Actually, I built 3 I-beamers in my life, and I've still got all 3 of them.
I'll be darned.
That
How
you
about
got
that?
the USA 1 and the Lunar.
That USA one was a good flying airplane too.
It is. I took it out about a year ago. I hadn't flown it in 3 or 4 years. And you're right. That airplane still is a really good flyer.
I remember it was trimmed well and flew well, I thought.
Yep. Yep.
It's one of the better classic airplanes, I think.
Oh yeah, I think it's in a league by itself. Classic
One of them that'll
airplane.
surprise you, and I'm not putting down the plane you're talking about, but one I don't think a lot of people really appreciate is Dick Williams'
Electra.
Electra.
Yeah, Bart's airplane that he won, his Tempest, was an Electra with just a different fuselage on it.
Yeah. The tail volume is smallish on those.
Well, that was the way it was at that time. Yes.
That's right.
Joe's
Well,
gonna, Joe's gonna
That's right.
fly my N30 airplane at Brodak. He just don't know it yet.
Well, when I brought the first Electra to the VSC, I had not flown it. I finished building it on the field, had 2 trim flights, and I flew it, and I came in, I think 16th or something like that in at the VSC with it, and that was all the airplane because I normally couldn't fly that good, but that airplane just flew like it was on rails.
Is the Monado a classic legal airplane, Robert?
No.
Is the Continental?
Yes and no. Yes, I know that it is, but no, they don't recognize it. I don't know, but yeah, you can fly it in classic.
When was the Monado built and flown? What
I
year?
saw it in '69.
Then thought 69 was the cutoff.
What's going on with this stupid?
Oh, Bob, your camera went out.
Yeah, I know it's acting odd. There we go.
I always thought the Monado was legal because I remember Tom Lay brought the original Monado and it flew it at VSC once.
It was, God darn it, it was built after the Continental.
Okay.
Are they shaped exactly the same except for I-beam wings?
Yes.
Okay.
Then it's probably, that's probably legal. If the one is legal, the other will be. Because you can make changes on the interior.
What is wrong with this? This one here, one we want.
So Jim, Richard was flying a Falcon 2-blade wooden electric prop, and it was working good on his airplane. He took the carbon fiber off because the fields were a little rough and put that wooden one on. He says, dang, if I don't think this works just as good. Have you used the Falcon wood props yet?
No, I haven't. I've used the Badass wood props on electric.
Yes.
I really like them. They're very, very lightweight.
Well, Richard didn't seem, he thought the wooden prop was worked awful good. He flew it on the competition day.
On an IC airplane?
No, electric.
Oh.
3510, 6L, yada, yada, yada. It was I think it's basically a Crossfire he built. But
So is it a wooden prop or?
Yes, wooden prop, 2-blade, 12-inch. It looked just like the Badass prop to me.
Yeah, I call it Badass. Those props are made of beechwood. I guess that's a very low density wood.
Very light.
They're mighty light. That sounds like similar to what you're describing, Joe.
Yeah. Richard had his electric thing doing its job. It was working good.
Good.
It's a Zor propeller.
Zor?
A Badass prop is exact copy of a Zor.
Okay.
Same material or just the geometry?
I think everything. They look like it come out of the same factory, just painted black.
I think they're identical. They're made in China. They're beautiful props.
Yeah, the Badasses are beautiful. And I like you can get them in reverse pitch and they're cheap. So,
$8 a piece or less.
Yeah, winner.
Yeah.
No.
Back to the Monado and the Continental. The story on the Continental is the story on the Monado is Norm Whittle had the Playboy. Tom Warden bought the Playboy from Tom. And he looked at the construction, liked the shape, and designed the Monado, but that was after the Continental.
Okay.
And there was 3 Monados. A blue one, a green one, and a purple one. And only one still exists and it doesn't fly, but oh, what happened there? Jim Hoffman, what happened?
His thumb's on the camera.
Oh, we got him spotlight. There we go. I had a problem with my camera. What's going on?
I know Norm Whittle told me that he designed the Playboy. Is that right?
Correct.
And that Tom Warden liked it.
Yep.
And he designed the Monado.
Tom Warden bought the Playboy from Norm to trace and see how it was constructed.
All right. So did Tom Warden's Monado then with outside dimensions? Was it the same thing as the Playboy?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's the same as a Continental.
When was the Continental designed?
I saw it in 1969. I was at a contest with it at the Ole's parking lot, my dad's hobby shop, in 1969.
Well, if it existed in 1969 as a Continental, then and it's the same, just different paint job and called Monado and maybe different internals, it would still be legal according to what I was taught.
I don't think anybody's gonna, there's so few of us left competing, and I don't think anybody's gonna whine about what year it was or whatever. There might be some.
I remember
They're not gonna argue about a shark. They're not gonna argue about the Monado.
No.
Yeah.
Tom
Lay bringing the purple Monado to VSC one year, and making the infamous comment when asked how it flew, like a lowered 49 Mercury.
Do you know why? Do you
Yeah.
know why it flies like that?
Why?
Because the elevators are only about 2 inches wide, maybe an inch and 3/4 wide. And Tom, that airplane's heavy, 60 ounces.
Yeah.
Yep, Sparky's
Well,
right.
anyway, he flew
I
it
know
and
the
he flew
airplane.
it at VSC, and they allowed it as a classic. So
Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna.
No.
I agree with you.
Didn't Masuro Hiki win VSC with the Continental one time?
He won with United for sure.
Well, I remember when a couple of notable stunt flyers showed up with Olympics that were strangely a little long, and they flew it. They were allowed to fly, but those airplanes never showed their face again anywhere. So they must have got a bit of razzing about it because they changed the moment arms on it.
You know, I might build a classic Legal Venado.
Pi
That's a beautiful
Martucci flew
airplane.
one at El Dorado this weekend in classic.
Yeah, those airplanes with good power are pretty good. You know, put an Aero Tiger in it.
That's exactly what he had in it.
Yep.
Exactly.
You know, Sparky can build light, and that'd be an okay airplane.
I agree.
Yeah.
It'd be good at 40 ounces.
Yep. That's where my
Not at
Lunar
60.
is, 40 ounces.
Yeah, well, it's no good at 60. It flies like a lowered 49 Merc. I'll tell you what, you can tell. I tried to make my big Monado, the one that I won the concourse with, emulate what Warden's Continental looked like. So it had thin elevators. And if you look back on my channel, you'll see where I cut them off and doubled the width of the elevators. And I got more turning authority because it had more flap than elevator, and it flew like a 49 Merc. Terrible. But it's got a different wing in it, 100%. I mean, it's a lot bigger and the numbers are different.
Hey, I got to run. I'll talk to you later.
Well,
Take care,
see you,
Jimmy.
Jim.
Good night.
Good to see you, bud.
Night.
About
Yeah, see
ready
you,
to turn
Jim.
it over to our nighttime host. Where did he go?
I'm here.
I'm going to go too, Colleen, so I'm going to need to visit a little bit. She's
Yeah,
been
I
out.
gotta get
She's
I
been
gotta
out
get back
partying.
downstairs and glue more pieces back on the Bearcat. So
Take Judy with you. I bet she'd be good at it.
Well, if everybody's leaving, we might as well end the stream.
I'll see you all Friday night, I think.
Same thing. Take care, y'all.
All right. Good night.
All right.
Good night.
And we're down to 4.
And I think we'll just end the stream. I appreciate you guys watching on YouTube. Remember, tonight, go to KS Metals and get your 50% off. Use the discount code STUNT10 at the checkout for an extra 10%. So it's 40 plus 10%. Super deal. All right, guys. We'll see you Friday. Fair
See you
wind,
Friday.
tight lines. See ya.
Can you